Hello, people.
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
Warrior vs Mage, a very peculiar deck. Of all the matchups, I've actually hit the hardest one for it. Let me explain this to you up front. My deck is chock full of cheap creatures. I don't even really have anything to draw a lot of them, so I can't flood the board all at once. Thus, my only saving grace lies in creature retention, or in simpler terms, not losing them. As long as I can accumulate them on the board, it's fine. I have some creature removal cards at my disposal to somewhat thin out the enemy lines in order to gain an advantage. None of this makes sense against a mage. A mage can pick off creatures with the Fire Blast each turn, dealing that final bit of damage. Mages also have excellent control spells that can either freeze or outright kill everything you have on your side of the board. I'm boned. See that Fen Raptor? No, I don't either. An excellent 3/2 creature cheap and packing a decent punch, gone. Not that it had much of a chance of doing much good. 2 mirror images are blocking my path to Jaina. I need to kill them first to get to her. Unless she kills me first. As my turn 2 move, I send out my Frostwolf Grand Altar. With a little luck, you may be able to take down a single mirror image. On a positive note, she can't have an unlimited number of spells to check at me. Sooner or later, she will run out of them if she keeps casting them willy-nilly. Besides, efforts spent on hurting my minions are efforts not spent on dealing damage to my hero. We're basically trading cards, even though creatures are quite often better than spells since they have permanence to them, they stay on the board. Okay, let's take a look at this. I used to have 2 problems, now I have 3. That Ironfell Grizzly certainly doesn't help matters. As long as I can get rid of it, however, I can begin hammering away at the mirror images, which won't fight back. Let's use the Fiery War Axe to slay the beast, casually taking some damage in the process. Now my Grunt can dismiss one of the illusions, and my Elven Archer can deal a single point of damage while entering the battlefield. I'm in a significantly better position than before, but all is in the hands of my opponent now. She could kill the Archer with a Fire Blast, but that would leave her with only 2 crystals to spend. Even though such moves can seem so simple and threatening when playing against a mage, the resource cost can often serve as quite a deterrent. The Sanjin Shield Master blocks my path. There's a number of things I could do, and the Voodoo Doctor is a reassurance in case I ever have minions that are neither dead nor at full health. Injured would be the technical term. Unfortunately, most of my creatures are so low on health that if they ever lose any, they usually lose all of it. As for the situation at hand, my solution is simple. Take some more damage on the hero, while dealing 3 points to the Shield Master. Then proceed to trade away the Grunt to eliminate all enemy threat from the board. As much as I hate the idea of charging into a mirror image, it would be even worse to simply not put the Kor'kron Elite on the board. So I chuck him in anyway. Let's destroy the illusion to get to the enemy hero. A single point of damage might be little, yet it's better than nothing. My path is clear, my situation has improved significantly. Now the ball is in my opponent's court. How will she attempt to gain the initiative? Arcane Explosion kills the Archer and injures my elite quite a bit. Another set of images once again bars my path. The Murlocs are the final piece of the puzzle, threatening to kill my creature the very next turn. Nicely done. There are many things that I could do with the cards I have in my hand. I could send the Berserker in, attacking with it immediately thanks to my Warzone commander. While such a move would almost certainly distract the enemy, I wish to neither lose nor even reveal such great cards quite yet. Let's take a different approach. First, I'll heal my injured elite since I don't want it to get picked off quite so easily. I have a lot more board presence, and changing this will require effort on my enemy's part. It might not seem like much of a difference, the Doctor and Elite will go down to both Murlocs and a single Fire Blast. On a positive note, that's a lot of effort to invest. Let's use our strength in numbers and summon one more Elite. Some creatures are simply bound to survive. With both the images gone, there are only the Murlocs left for the time being. Let's see how this pans out. There's quite a bit of hesitation on the side of my opponent, even though she only has 2 cards to her name. I can emphasize with this though, nothing feels worse than just slamming their own cards on the table due to impatient hastiness.
Join or die, or both.
A Cult Master! That's smart, this card allows you to draw more cards whenever the creature on your side dies. Seeing how the Murlocs are about to bite the dust anyway, she might as well squeeze some more value out of their demise. The plan here is simple and obvious. She's got 4 points of damage to deal to 2 creatures with 1 and 3 hit points respectively. 1 elite will remain, everything else will die. Thanks to her decision this turn, she will also receive 2 cards in the process. She doesn't have any more mana crystals and I doubt her cards are free, so this delay seems puzzling and unnecessary. I understand the desire to look at the recently drawn cards though. On my turn she would like to focus on my actions, and on her next one she should already have a plan. Alright, time to act. The Fiery Warlocks is a godsend here, since I am no longer forced to sacrifice creatures to kill that cult leader. The nice thing about playing as well is that I can always stack some armor on top of my health, so spending the latter is often preferable to taking damage on minions. More precisely to losing minions, since there are many beneficial spells I can use that require the targets to be injured. This has been an excellent turn. I ended up killing the enemy minion, putting a second one of my own on the battlefield, and dealing damage. I'm in excellent shape so far. What is worrying, of course, is that I'm running low on cards, and since I neither have cards that allow me to draw cards, nor cards that are expensive enough to deplete my mana reserves, I will end up wasting crystals turn after turn. I need to keep any advantage I can get, because I probably won't be able to ever get back if I fall behind even once. I do not like the situation I am facing. Plenty of sacrifices will have to be made. Let me see. I need to deal 3 damage once and then 5 damage. I still have my axe, so I don't need to worry about the bell. 5 damage can come from the elite and footman, leaving me with the One-Slot Commander and the Amani Berserker on the field. Let's make the best out of a bad situation. One-Slot Commander enters the field, gives charge to my Goldshire Footman as he enters the field. I sacrifice the elite and the footman to get rid of the shield master, leaving me with the Arnfell Grizzly to dispatch. I swing my axe to slay the beast, leaving the enemy side of the battlefield barren once again. As it should be. Make your move, mage. Arcane Missiles? That's an odd move that ends up helping me by enraging the Berserker. A Goldshire Footman and a Frostwolf Warlord.
Well played.
With that Bloodfen Raptor, this should have been a trivial task. Kill the Footman with the Raptor, trade the Berserker for the Warlord. Unfortunately, this is where I have made an absurd mistake that bothers me to this day. I know that all I have are weak creatures. I know that I'm playing against a mage.
Who you want me killed?
I trade in a way that leaves the Berserker alive with a single hit point. No prizes for telling me what a mage is going to do in response.
That was an error.
Leaving an uninjured Raptor with a single hit point and a One-Slot Commander with 2 would have been a superior choice, but I can't turn back time. More arcane missiles. And a fire blast to the face. On the bright side, the board is clear. I am still not behind. I still have a chance to win this. My cult leader should give me exactly what I desperately need. Card draws. I can keep throwing creatures at whatever lies in front of me, knowing that whatever I draw next as they die, I will most likely be able to play the very same turn. Besides that, the cult leader can dish out some damage of her own. 4 points of attack is nothing to take lightly. Most creatures... Never mind all that. Back to a clear board. No creatures, no cards. More fiery damage to my armored face. Here's a welcome sight. Fairy Dragon, a creature you cannot target with spells nor hero abilities. What will she do? Oh, Frost Nova, great, she's buying herself time by disabling my Fairy Dragon with AoE. Sure, you can't target him, but he can still be affected by things that do not require an explicit target. At least it's not dead. As you can see at this point, we're simply chucking cards at each other, using them as they come along. With the Jubilant Yeti on the field, I feel a lot safer. What can she do? The Frostwolf Warlord isn't that big of a threat when summoned alongside nothing. The Fire Blast is supposed to force me to sacrifice the Yeti for this guy. Not with the Voodoo Doctor here to help. Of course, I know that the Fire Blast is coming to take my precious Yeti away from me. But at least I'm forcing her hand here, instead of giving her the luxury of choosing how to allocate damage among a thinner group of targets. Go on, you know what you want to do. Wow, that was unexpected. If she hits my hero, I can sacrifice the Voodoo Doctor, leaving the Fairy Dragon safe. Yeah, she figured that out too. Not much point in dealing opportunistic damage to a class that can armor up every turn. You need to be methodical. Speaking of armor, the Armor Smith will probably make her reconsider casting all those fire blasts at my creatures. You can even see her mousing over my minion. Sheep happens. Alright, if all you have is a sheep, everything begins to look like... When life gives you sheep, make wool sweaters. That sheep may be weak, but I sure as hell am going to deal all the damage with it that I can. Darkscale Healer. Thus ends my adventure with the sheep. Here's the situation. I draw Execute, which allows me to kill any damaged minion. I have the Grunt on the board, so I can deal that initial damage. The thing is, I can also deal 2 points to Jaina now, and either the Grunt gets hit with a Fire Blast and lives, or by the Naga dealing damage back to it. In both cases, that's 2 more points of damage to squeeze out. Here's what's wrong with this plan. It implicitly assumes status quo. Ceteris paribus, it says, I should be able to deal 2 more points of damage to the hero. This is not how things pan out. Now, thanks to greed blinding me, I have the Darkscale Healer out there, ready to deal 4 points of damage each turn. Instead of using this Heroic Strike to deal damage to Jaina, 4 points of damage to be precise, I need to waste it on dealing initial damage to the minion, finishing it off with Execute. It feels even worse than it looks, trust me. Regardless, it had to be done. Well, back to a clear board. I have lost some armor in my heroic effort of dealing with the Naga threat, but otherwise I'm fine, aside from my pride being badly hurt. I don't like this fellow. Not one bit. More spell damage is not something you want a mage to have. I am forced to summon this arcane golem just to take the mage out. I know what will happen on her turn, but I couldn't have risked the same thing happening again. I learned from my mistake, so I didn't attack Jaina in hope that the golem would survive or kill the minion. Be done with it. Great! A fireball to the face. Sure, I can eat that. I have enough armor to protect myself. Jungle Panther. It's got stealth, so it cannot be targeted until it attacks. This is nice, since I really don't want it to die straight away without dealing even a bit of damage. My opponent seems to be utterly mesmerized by my feline friend. A fireball to the face, again! And a fire blast too, just for good measure. I can understand the hesitation now. She was wondering whether she should have saved that for later. Perhaps for a minion even more powerful than that panther. Time to leave stealth and deal damage. My kit is vulnerable now, but I hope it gets to live at least till the next turn to either kill something or deal some more damage to Jaina. No! This sheep just keeps happening when I least expect it. Well, as full of sheep as that mage might have been, she's all out now, no more duplicates allowed. Cleave is unlikely to help me since it requires 2 targets to be present. The fairy dragon, however, is a welcome sight. Try to get rid of this one with your fancy spells. Yep, if you can't kill it, you might as well slow it down with a thrust. No, 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 no! Alright, I have a heroic strike at my disposal. I can't kill it, but I just might weaken it enough. As long as my fairy dragon can live through this, I can sacrifice it if need be. It's not a hopeless situation yet. Do I have any alternatives? Should I wait until next turn to use it alongside Cleave, maybe? I don't know. Let's do it now and hope for the best.
I'm almost out of cards.
You're what?
I hope you like my invention.
Cards.
Hey, wait a minute. What her draw deck used to be, now there is a menacingly looking pool of lava. Oh boy, this is going to hurt. Down to 2 hit points, but I've got a plan. Look at this. 2, 3, 3. I can use Cleave down to 2, 1, 1. I can use the Fairy Dragon to kill the champion and the Archer's Battlecry to eliminate the Racketeer. It has just occurred to me right now as I'm editing this that I could have simply traded the dragon for the champion and killed everything else with Cleave, leaving me with a single Elven Archer on the field against nothing. The current situation, however, is even more amazing. She needs to kill the archer without losing the engineer, that's obvious. It's the last creature she will ever have. Fortunately, she can use her ability to accomplish this. Now, each turn, Fatigue will deal damage to the mage. Her engineer can deal 1 point of damage, her Fire Blast another, but I can apply 2 points of armor each turn, essentially preventing all damage. Fatigue damage increases each time it gets applied. The second time she eats it, she takes 2 points. Since she can do no damage to me, and I still have many cards to draw, Fatigue will kill her, even if I play nothing at all. It was a most extraordinary game for me. I hope the few mistakes I've made didn't take much away from your enjoyment. Bye guys.